welcome to the Blindy Wheeling podcast. Episode 1. How do you describe an accessible visit?
Paul, I want to start with something that sounds simple, although I suspect it is anything but. How do you describe an accessible visit?
I do not think I begin by describing it. I begin by remembering it. There is always that small moment before a visit really begins. You are still outside, perhaps still in the car, looking towards the entrance, and there is a quiet question in your mind. Will this work?
That question arises before anything has actually gone wrong.
Exactly. And often nothing does go wrong in a dramatic way. I remember arriving at a heritage site that looked promising. There was accessible parking, a clear entrance, and a sign pointing to a step-free route. On paper, it was doing rather well. I gave it a mental gold star before I had even reached the door. Then the visit began. The route from the parking bay had a slight slope that pulled me to one side. The door was heavier than I expected. The sign inside was helpful, but not quite where my eyes naturally went. So I paused, corrected myself, moved on, and paused again.
So it was not inaccessible in the obvious sense.
No, and that is the important point. Nothing was disastrous. Nobody had hidden the lift behind a suit of armor or placed the accessible entrance in another county. But the rhythm of the visit kept breaking. After a few of those little interruptions, I was no longer simply enjoying the place. I was managing the visit.
That phrase feels important, managing the visit.
It is the difference between being present and being alert. When access works well, you can give your attention to the place, the story, the view, the people you are with. When it does not quite work, your attention is spent on logistics. Where do I go next? Is that route for me? Will this door open? Have I missed something obvious?
So an accessible visit is not just about features.
It is about flow. Features matter, of course they do. But they only matter because of what they allow people to do. A ramp that nobody can find is not much of a welcome. A toilet that exists but is poorly signed still leaves people uncertain. A policy that sounds marvelous but is not felt in the visit is really just a framed good intention.
What does good feel like, then?
Good feels quietly easy. You arrive and things make sense. You do not have to decode the place. You feel expected, not fussed over, not treated like a visiting dignitary with a clipboard following behind you, just expected. The place has made room for you without making a performance of it.
What should people do with that insight?
Walk the journey. Start where visitors start. Arrive from the car park, from the bus stop, from the pavement. Move slowly. Notice every moment where you hesitate, even slightly. Those pauses are incredibly useful. They are not failures to be embarrassed about. They are clues.
That feels encouraging.
It should. Most improvements are not grand projects. They are small acts of care, a better placed sign, a clearer description online, a door adjusted so it is not a wrestling match before coffee. Remove a few moments of doubt and the whole visit changes.
What are your final thoughts?
An accessible visit is one where people can spend their energy on the experience, not on working out how to survive the experience. That is a very good place to start.
Thank you, Paul. Well, that's all for this episode, and we look forward to joining you again next time. Bye for now.